Stephen Johnston, unaffiliated independent candidate now for the newly realigned West Kelowna Peachland riding. Stephen, welcome officially now to the provincial election campaign.
Thanks, it's good to be here, Wayne.
The reason, right off the top, the reason that you want to get into provincial politics as opposed to the municipal side?
Serving my community has always been a huge priority for me, even before my time on council. I ran for mayor, as you know, in 2014 with a vision for what our community could become, and really just with this goal of trying to make the world that I live in a better place, not only for me, but for my kids and future generations. And it's no different with running as an MLA. There's a lot of things that need to change in the province and a lot of changes that need to be made, I think, quickly to get on the right track. And so now's the time to enter that. With Ben Stewart deciding to retire, there was that opportunity, and I thought I'm going to seize the moment.
It's a clean slate and open riding. Yeah. You were the BC United nominee. Of course, that has gone by the wayside since the announcement of Mr. Falcon at the end of April, or end of August, rather. You've decided after a few weeks of soul searching and thought to stay in the race. Why that decision?
Yeah, so for me, it was never a question. So I was going to remain in the race regardless, because my commitment had never changed to my community. Really, the soul searching part was really just a game of waiting, right? And seeing if on that promise that John and Kevin had made in the press conference saying we're going to build the best team to defeat the NDP, if that was going to happen, I thought I'll wait and we'll see, and maybe I'll get a tap on the shoulder. But when that was clear that it wasn't coming, it was just time to move on and keep rolling. So we turned it into an independent campaign, and we were waiting on answers from Elections BC and others for quite a long time, but we finally got them. The answers on September 13th, and then we made all the changes we needed to make to all of our content and brochures and signs, and we're off to the races now.
You were, at the time, more than willing to serve as the BC Conservative candidate had that decision been made. Does that mean that if you are elected as the MLA for West Kelowna Peachland, that you would caucus with potentially, and if it's a minority government, work to instill the Conservative Party as the government as opposed to the NDP?
Yeah, and I don't beat around the bush about it. I'm a center-right conservative. I have been my whole life. I grew up in a home, was raised with sort of more center-right conservative values, and the problem that I see in BC right now is the choice has been removed from so many voters. So where you had, an opportunity to vote, well, what we have right now is an NDP who deviates over here and a Conservative Party over here, with a huge gap in the middle of people feeling disenfranchised. So for me, it's important that center-right, free enterprise, opportunity is there and present for people. And I think that keeping the Conservative Party in check with some hopefully high-caliber independents that get elected could be a really good thing for BC and a great thing for our communities. If I'm elected as an independent in West Kelowna Peachland, and we are able to hold the balance of power, it's an exceptional opportunity for our community to advocate for the things that we've been needing for a long time and attract investment that has been really non-existent for the last decade over in West Kelowna Peachland.
Have you been working with the other independent candidates throughout not only the Okanagan, but throughout the province? And I believe there's 19 of them, the former BC United. Has there been conversations amongst the entire group as to how we will move forward as potentially a bloc if there is a balance of power situation needed? Has that conversation happened?
Well, certainly we're a part of a couple different WhatsApp groups where we've got our former BCU group and then those of us that are actually running. And we do keep in contact to support one another, to be that encouragement, and to just say, hey, we're well aware of that those of us that are elected will likely have to work together to form that balance of power. And I can tell you that all of the BC United former candidates, none of us want to see the NDP carry on with the policies that we feel are destructive to British Columbia. So yeah, there will be a concerted effort to prop up a government that's going to make meaningful changes and get results. But again, we got to keep that in check. We got to keep it in balance. And I think having those independents is just an exceptional opportunity that will probably only exist in this election cycle. So it's a great opportunity. I think we need to seize that moment while we can.
You're a clean slate. You are, you have no policy book. You are an independent. Are you taking a lot from the BC United platform and then adding your own spin to it?
Yeah, so my website, it's live now. It's stephen-johnston.com. And on there, we do have a policy page, and I've actually put a fair amount of work into drafting, policy that a lot of it would be sort of carryover from BC United, because we did have some really good policy with a bit of my own spin on it. And I really do encourage people to check that out. There's a lot of content and a lot of information there. And really, I think good policy is good policy. So someone asked me the other day, does this mean that anything the NDP says is garbage? And I said, well, no, good policy is good policy. Like EB had dropped some real soft launch policy on doctor's notes yesterday, right? Hey, we're going to, eliminate the requirement for a doctor's note under 5 days. And I mean, that makes sense. That's just, if you wake up tomorrow sick as a dog, the last thing you want to do is drag yourself to the doctor to get a note so that you can take the day off work, right? So good ideas are good ideas, and I think that's the value, or one of the power that independents bring, is we can just support good ideas and help make policy, adjustments to the Conservative policy that just make it better, stronger, and more representative of.
Safe to say that housing is the number one issue throughout West Kelowna, Peachland?
Housing affordability, yeah. That's really across the board, but I mean, healthcare is a huge thing in West Kelowna too. We're really light on healthcare services. You'll drive down the highway and you'll see it, the walk-in clinics, there's a lineup before they open every day. Often by 9 o'clock, they've booked the maximum amount of patients for the day. Our urgent primary care center, we're happy to have it, but we need it to be staffed a little bit more with more robust hours. We don't have any dialysis support on the west side, and so there's, a growing community over in West Kelowna Peachland that will have 75 to 80,000 people in it over the next 20 years with no healthcare center, right? So healthcare is a big priority in West Kelowna as well. Traffic.
Another issue, transportation.
Yeah, so highway improvements to 97, or Highway 97, are crucial. We have been working for years as a council to get interchanges at Bushry and Westlake. Unfortunately, under Christy Clark, those two interchanges were designed, proposed, ready to be built, but they never happened. And so we're back to the drawing board with those right now. And I'm happy to say that they're in the works and they're past preliminary design stage, but we need to eliminate intersections and streetlights on Highway 97 to get traffic moving and people connecting to and from work and back into their communities efficiently and safely. And that's a huge priority. We've got the couplet in downtown West Kelowna, West Bank Center, which is problematic, but then West Side Road as well, right? I mean, West Side Road is one of the most dangerous roads in Canada. The investment cut off really when Christy Clark left. And then Peachland too, down from Drought Hill and Trepanier. Right. Really dangerous intersection there. We need at-grade improvements, and so these are the kind of things we need to advocate for our riding.
Specifically, and I touched on housing affordability right off the top, something that is woefully lacking in the city of West Kelowna. I know Kelowna, as a matter of fact, at their council meeting earlier this week, when they approved the final 60 tiny homes, the question was made, why are we doing all this? Why isn't West Kelowna doing it? Why isn't, Lake Country, et cetera, et cetera? You do sit on city council, so you kind of know the best of both worlds. What does the community need, and how can you advocate for that? Yeah,
so a lot of the investment has gone regionally to Kelowna. One of the things that we're really advocating for is seniors and low-income housing. So we are, for communities of comparable size, we are thousands of units short compared to, cities like Vernon or Penticton. So we need affordable seniors and low-income housing to help, hit that missing middle gap. And oftentimes the way that you do that is you partner with the province by, the city donating land and then them coming in and building a subsidized multifamily unit. Well, we're a little bit land poor too as a city of West Kelowna, so we've been asking for the province to extend Crown land acquisition to us. So where we have Crown lands adjacent to our community, how can we open those up so that they can be used for affordable housing? Because when you reduce the cost of entry on the land, it actually allows you to develop in perpetuity these affordable units. So that Crown land acquisition piece is huge for our community, and we need to pursue that.
Stephen, as we wrap this up, I want to give you an opportunity to talk to the constituents of West Kelowna Peachland when they go into the ballot area on October 19th. Why should they put a check mark beside Stephen Johnston?
Well, you know, for my community, I encourage everybody to look into your candidates. You know, we need to become educated on who we're voting for. I'm a local through and through. I've grown up in West Kelowna my whole life, graduated from Bushery, met my wife there, we're high school sweethearts. We've been in the community a long time, raised our family there. I understand the heartbeat of the community, the issues at hand, and I've got local elected experience. When I ran for mayor in 2014, I received a lot of praise for the way I ran the campaign, you know, the approach I took and the, you know, the ideas that I brought forward that have resonated through the community and made its way to the council table. But the one critique I had was, you know, you've got to have experience first. So I'd have people come up and say, I love what you did, let's get the experience. You need it for a role like this. And I can tell you, you need experience to be the MLA. You need the networks, you need the connectivity, you need the relationships, and the ability to know how to get things done. And I think that's a really important piece, and I offer that trusted leadership, that proven integrity, and that experience in local government. So I would be honored to have my community's support and to represent them as the next MLA for West Kelowna Peachland.
Unaffiliated, independent candidate Stephen Johnston, West Kelowna Peachland. Good luck on October 19th.
Thanks, Wayne.